I once learned about this thing on What Would You Do called the black sheep phenomena, and I thought it was very interesting. What it basically is that when you have one person that belongs to a certain group that is behaving badly, like for example, if you have a white person who is horribly discriminating against somebody, then chances are other white people will stand against him, like berate him for being so prejudiced. That's the black sheep phenomenon. When you have a person who makes a group of people look bad, then that same group of people punishes that in-group member from deviating from their value system. I like to think that hate groups, because hate groups tend to be filled with a single kind of group of people, they're all basically black sheeps, because being so hateful and stuff, the thing is they think they're representing their group in a good way, but in reality they're doing the opposite. They're just making their group look very, very bad. So in response, there would be other people that are from that same group that in many ways would punish them for being so biased, so prejudiced, so bad, and a bad example for their group. And in many cases, I have seen that quite a bit on What Would You Do? Like in this one barbershop scene, there was this black girl, and there was this black woman giving her a haircut, and then the black actress's white boyfriend came in, and the black hairdresser started discriminating against them. And in the barber shop, there were all of these bystanders, all of these black women who were not only trying to reason with her, but also insisting that her beliefs were wrong. And then there was another scenario where the races were reversed, where there was a white man in the seat and a white hairdresser and a black girlfriend. And the majority of the bystanders in the hair salon were white, and they defended the white man and his black girlfriend, and they basically told the racist hairdresser that she was wrong. Yeah, you see, there are lots of cases where people stand up to people of the same social group when they're doing something wrong. That's the black sheep phenomenon, and I think that's really interesting. When you're going against someone who is the same as you for doing something wrong, to defend someone who's different from you, it really just shows how advanced human beings are, how good we are as a species that thrives on acceptance of our differences. That's really the best way how human beings can thrive in life and society, by accepting everybody's differences and treating them all equally. That is the true fire way that our civilizations will thrive, because any form of discrimination will only restrict us. It will only hold us back, because without equality, human beings are held back, potential is limited, and things are far less productive. Yeah. That's just the way that I've seen it through all the results that have been going on through the years. I mean, overall, we're so much better than when we were several years ago. I mean, even back only in the 60s, things were a mess in so many ways. Back in those forms of the 90s where segregation was a thing, there were so many things impeding, restricting, and holding back society, and several potentials were wasted, all because of the restrictions that discrimination caused. But now that equality is law, those restrictions are gone, and so many more people have so much more potential to make the world, our country, our cities, our towns a much better place. See, the best way for human beings to truly thrive is to treat each other equally and accept our differences as a species. I mean, think about it. It would be so much better. The world is so much of a happier place when everybody has equal opportunities. That's the world that we must strive for. The greatest amount of happiness for the greatest number of people, no matter who they are, or no matter what their differences are, or no matter anything really. I mean, it's all in the right of fairness, isn't it? We're all living creatures in the end, and all living creatures deserve to be treated with compassion. All living things deserve a right for fairness and compassion. And there are many people that believe in that too. That's why lots of people get very mad when those people threaten that order of fairness. That's where sometimes the black sheep phenomena comes into play. It really is cool to me how people of the same group would defend different people from people who are in their same group when it's the right thing to do. In the end, it's all about defending fairness, rights, and compassion. That's what it's all about. There's definitely still some improvements that we need, because those who have discriminatory beliefs, it takes a lot to make them give up those feelings, because the majority of people feel very strongly about those beliefs. Sometimes it takes some very harsh lessons in order to prove to them that equality is what's right, And compassion is what makes the world thrive. We're human beings. We are civilized creatures, perfectly capable of living happy lives without having to resort to violence. Sure, we're living creatures, but we're not feral. We're perfectly capable of being civilized. So we don't need violence to live. So really, there's no reason for us to be unkind to each other for any reason. I just never understood the concept of racism. Even when I was a child, I believed that there was absolutely nothing to gain from that kind of belief. All it ever did was make things worse, made things miserable for everybody, really. I mean, when you're unkind to someone or discriminating against someone, it's just as harmful to the aggressor as it is to the victim. Not just because it makes them a bad person, and that's never a good thing, but also, like I mentioned earlier, there's the black sheep phenomena. So, when you're not a kind person, when you are not compassionate towards others, and you think only about yourself, it's going to be almost impossible for you to be in any good kind of relationship with anybody. And that is not healthy. For a healthy emotional life, it is very important to have good relationships with people, whether it be family, friends, or anyone on social media, stuff like that. The truth of the matter is, a life where you push people away, that's very unhealthy. Everybody needs some kind of social interaction in order to have a healthy mindset. A lack of social interaction, a lack of companionship, in some cases, can actually lead to insanity. Have you ever heard of solitary confinement? That is a loss of social to the extreme. That really is a form of torture. People can actually go insane from that. That's why it's so important to be kind. So we get the social interaction we need to be emotionally healthy. Relationships, good relationships, good, healthy relationships are important in life. That's why it's so important to be kind to others, kind to everybody. That's really the most surefire way of how the human species will thrive for centuries and probably even millennia to come. We can only do our best to treat each other with respect, kindness, fairness, and be good citizens of our communities, and always defend those who are being treated wrong, no matter who they are. Yeah. Just me rambling on again.